LabNet is honored to launch a Women Leaders in Tech webinar series. Each webinar will feature a tech expert in her field who will be interviewed for 10 minutes by an early to mid-career up-and-comer high-tech woman professional. We are thrilled to open this series with Marianne Zakhour, co-founder and CEO of Orderbot Software and a leader in the e-commerce field. Marianne will be interviewed by me, Zeina Saad, senior consultant at Exponent Partners. And this is a lovely interview for me to do because Marianne is the one who hired me for my first tech job 16 years ago. So welcome, Marianne, and thanks for doing this interview with us.
Thank you, Zain. I'm honored. It's a lot of fun being here with you and LabNet.
So we're going to start off the questions with your field. So you're a leader in the field of e-commerce. What is your view of opportunities in the e-commerce system? And also follow up, like how have these opportunities changed given the pandemic and also recent events in Lebanon?
Sure, Zaina. So I'm a co-founder of Orderbot, which was born back in the days when we met years ago from my job in San Francisco. But the vision and the mission of Orderbot is to be a leader in its field, in the most innovative back office for modern commerce. And this whole idea came about because there was a lot of emphasis at the time on the websites and the beautification of websites. And I felt there wasn't enough emphasis on all the work that happens in the background to be reliable and to fulfill and manage customers' expectations accordingly. So this is what we do at Orderbot. And if you look at the recent events of the pandemic, buy online, pick up in store is something we have been working on for 2 years before the pandemic. And we're so proud that we were first in line to offer it to all our customers and enable people to be home and be safe and just go into the store and pick up. And with Lebanon, I haven't stopped thinking since then is what are other things that we can do to enable the connection for everyone in need, to be there, to be able to deliver or help people, rebuild or help them with funding. This is all part of technology and e-commerce. So there's tons of opportunities in that field.
So what is, in thinking of those opportunities, what are the innovations that are going to be important in e-commerce in the world we live in now and in the future?
So, I would summarize that into 2 words. It's opportunity through visibility. And the way I look at it is if you focus on just the commercial aspect, you look at what Uber and Airbnb did for the world, kind of democratized choice and given opportunity through visibility. It allowed anyone to be a driver, any restaurant to deliver, any consumer to pick from any driver, any restaurant. Same with Airbnb, it allowed people to have the choice to keep a second home or whatnot. So from a commercial perspective, it's a lot about an increased connection between supply and demand and opportunity through visibility. But more importantly, in these days, I've been very stuck on the humanitarian aspect of it, is how do you make that connection and opportunity through visibility? In your choice of political leaders, for example, how do you choose? What's the leader that's going to be totally okay with being totally transparent and using technology to allow us not to sway votes from one way to another, but maybe to allow us to look at where's the money going, if a bank offers 12% investment, where's that money going? How's it being used? If you're selecting a vendor, how are you selecting the vendor? You're setting up budgets for a country. To me, it's become a choice of who's offering transparency, and technology is there to enable that. And that's very specific, of course, to all of us in Lebanon, but also all around the world. There's been so many protests about corruption and how to make change. I feel like technology is going to be at the heart of that if given the opportunity.
True, and I mean those are really big goals to create all this transparency, even though we all know it's really important. So what are the biggest challenges in doing that?
Time and momentum. Technology is there for speed, but there's also, you need time to build the technology. If you look at what happened with a pandemic, if you look at what happened with Lebanon, these people are suffering. Everyone wants to stay safe. You need to be quick, and you need to be quick on your field to have the vision and to bring it to fruition.
And so then shifting more from the global aspect of your work to the more individual, what has been your biggest challenge as a leader, and also specifically as a woman leader?
I love this question. I don't know. I never really felt, you know, a challenge as a woman leader. I never felt a difference between men and women. It's always been like, you know, I'm a woman, I'll do whatever I want to do, you know. But I only started feeling a bit of that difference when I became a mother. I think being able to, and no offense to all the men, but and the fathers who want to be excellent fathers, but achieving success in both. And specifically, I'm in the world of e-commerce. E-commerce is a 24/7 business. Motherhood is a 24/7 business. How do you successfully be there physically, emotionally for everyone? And now with the pandemic, I feel like as a leader, one of our biggest challenge, and I don't know if I'm experiencing this as a woman, and I feel like I'm one of the few who's fighting this, but managing at a distance, losing that connection, losing the ability to connect as teamwork. A lot of our competitors or fellow technology people here are shutting down their spaces and real estate. And I feel like, I think everyone's underestimating the power of a lunchroom and what can happen and how efficient work can be just by pure, you know, eating together. So that's, I think that might be a bit more of a womanly concern, but yeah.
Okay. And so now you've been in the tech space for a certain number of years. You have created your own company, and you are in a successful place. If you were to go back to your 25-year-old self, what would you tell her?
You know, I thought a lot about these things over the years, and I think a lot of people ask me similar questions, and I never want to go the direction of don't worry, things will be fine. I think you need to plan, and you need to be on top of things, and you need to not necessarily worry, but, you know, have that healthy. What I would tell anyone who's thinking about this is invest a year of your life in psychology. I think if every one of us took a bit of time to understand people's reactions and different perspectives and where people are coming from in their answers and behaviors, and take that into account, especially in a world where the younger generation is not doing that much Zoom only because of now, but a lot of it is through texts and Slack and this and the other, you know, stop and think about why do people answer or behave in a certain way and how to inspire and influence. It'll take you a much further along to inspire and influence if you understand human psychology.
That is such great advice. I wish I had taken that advice. I feel like, yeah, no matter what career you're in or what industry or path you go down, you're always going to be working with people, and understanding people is super important. That's a great piece of advice. So what do you think are your 3 biggest accomplishments?
My 3 biggest accomplishments?
Just three, Marianne.
Just 3? Thank you. I don't know. I just feel that I've always dreamt of being able to do it all, like being, you know, having a business. For me to be an entrepreneur has always been my dream since I'm 10. I remember that first time I journaled it, and I feel I'm not there yet in the scale that I want to be, but I'll get there, I have no doubt. And being able to do that while being a mother and then being independent, I feel like is more than enough for right now. Being there for the world, I always feel like I'm a giver, and I feel like I strive with transformation around me and growth, and I feel I'm in that path. So I'm very proud of that.
Great. And then if you had a note of advice for a younger woman who is coming into this sphere, and just given what you've learned in your career and given what you foresee in the future of tech, what would you recommend for a woman now to do to help with her career?
Something that's worked great for me is using technology as a tool for growth. And we all have many passions in life. And I remember, because I also worked very closely with your mother, who was always dreaming of the days she could do something good for the world. And we all have that dream. We all want to do better for the world. So I'd like to urge, and especially in the community of Lebanese community with all the crisis going on in Lebanon, is to strive to like marry your like passions for your home and country and its rebuild right now, and use technology as a tool. So marry two passions that you have, whatever they may be, and they may be to give back to your community, or they may be, you know, fashion or retail or whatnot, but marry the two, because with technology, it's going to enable scales of grandeur that's not achievable without. So try and think of what can we all do together as a community, and using technology as a basis for that.
Awesome. That's amazing advice. Well, thank you so much, Marianne, for being here and for answering these questions and for giving us some insight into your world, into your career, and into yourself. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Zeina. Such a pleasure to be here with you.